Committee meeting, council meeting of October 16th. I guess it's our first meeting of the fall season, actually. I would ask our CAO, Dan, please to call the roll.
Thank you very much. So we'll start with the chair, Deputy Mayor Tennyson,
Present.
Mayor Blair,
Present.
Councillor Weatherby,
Present.
Councillor Richardson,
Present.
Councillor Cooper,
Present.
Councillor Johnson, Councillor Leggett, Councillor Martell,
Present.
Councillor Patton,
Present.
Councillor Benoit,
Present.
Councillor Fletcher,
Present.
Councillor Kennedy.
Present.
You have quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dan. In peace and in friendship and in the spirit of truth and reconciliation, I acknowledge that the Municipality of Colchester is in Mi'kma'ki, the unceded and ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq. I'd like to welcome our municipal advisor, Jason Hahn. Hi, Jason. He's in the back with a broken foot, I believe. He's our municipal advisor with the Nova Scotia Department of Municipal Affairs. So thank you for joining us tonight. And in the gallery, our guest, Blair, I believe. Thank you for joining us. And we have an agenda before you. I have one addition, and it's number 14 in closed session, legal matter. Are there any other additions, Councillor Leggett?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to add an action item, insurance for the RECC.
We call that 8B. That's something we
Yeah.
can talk about. 8B, insurance, right? Okay. Any other additions? Hearing none, I'll ask for an approval of the agenda. Motion to approve, moved by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor Patton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. You have the minutes of the September 2nd and 11th before you. The minutes have already been circulated. Any addition or any deletions, any omissions or corrections to those minutes? Anybody prepared to make a motion to approve? Moved by Councillor Patton to approve, seconded by Councillor Weatherby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Is there any business arising from those minutes? Not seeing any hands, so we'll move on to our action items. And number 5, J-class paving candidates, 2026-27 submissions. And Michelle, please, if you would walk us through this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item relates to council's submission for this fiscal year construction next year for paving of J-class roads. So as council will recall, there are about 110 kilometers of J-class roads in the county. These are owned by the province, built before 95, and usually subdivision roads. We're currently in year 3 of a 3-year contract that was signed by council with the province to participate in the J-class road paving program, whereby council can submit roads for paving to the province, and subject to budget, province will pay 50% of the cost and county will pay the remaining 50%. So in September, I requested that council forward along to Public Works their recommendations or requests for which roads in their districts are J-class and might require repaving. The list as compiled is attached to your item. So staff went out, visited all of these roads and took a look at the surface conditions. And we came up with 6 roads here listed in your item, worst to first. We would recommend putting forward based on condition. The first road, the 2 are small courts in Seine River, Basswood Court and Spruce Court. The next road would be Ice Pond Drive. Then Highland View Court and Basin View Court in North River off of Dixon. And the last would be a short section of Clover Drive. These are the roads that staff feel are in most need of repaving at this time. Last year, council did put forward a couple of roads through the J-class program. This was the first year that council agreed to put roads forward and fund their 50% from our paving reserve. So this would be year 2 of a submission, potential submission from the municipality. Submissions are due by October 31st. And so what staff are proposing is that if council does wish to move ahead with submitting some or all of these roads to the province for consideration under the program, and council can make that motion, have the list prioritized. Staff will come back at the end of the month with the cost for the roads that are being put forward. And then council can make a final decision at the end of the month on which roads to put forward to the.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Is anybody prepared to put a motion on the floor? Councillor Johnson?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I would put a motion on the floor. I'm going to change the arrangement a little bit, but put a motion for the council committee direct staff to prepare cost estimates for repaving of Ice Pond Drive first, Basswood Court second, Spruce Court third, Allen View fourth, Basin View fifth, Clover Drive, Armstrong to Bright last. That the estimate be presented to council, October council for further consideration.
Thank you. Do we have
And
a
I'd like to-
seconder?
and I'd like to speak on it.
Seconded by Councillor Patton. Does the order in the motion matter? Perhaps Michelle, you can.
Yes, through the chair. So the list that goes forward to the province will have to be prioritized, so that if they cannot assign funding to the entire list, they would start with the first.
You have something. Can you repeat the one to,
I can't,
yeah,
so
please.
all I did was pull Ice Pond at a third, and put it first there, Tracy. So Ice Pond first, Basswood second, Spruce third, Island View fourth, Basin View fifth, Clover Drive, one piece there, Armstrong to Bright sixth.
That's great. And you wanted to speak to this, Councillor Johnson?
I did.
And I understand you have some video you'd like to show or some images you want to show?
If I may, that's a video that I put together, a slide presentation.
Yeah. Do you think you'll be longer than your 5 minutes?
I will. I'm gonna ask, that's what I'm asking for. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
roughly 7 minutes, so I'm
Yeah.
asking for council's approval to run a video here showing these streets. There's some drone shots. I just like everybody to look at.
Does council agree that we give Councillor Johnson a little extra time, a couple of minutes more? Yes, I see nods. Good.
Thank you. So am I sharing screen right now, Tracy, or not?
Did you do the share screen?
See, share. So what I've done, I've taken the 6 roads and I've done drone shots in the wall and I've put them together here. So let's just go with the first one.
Would you turn the mic on there, please, Councillor Johnson?
Okay, how's that? So this is a list that obviously we've seen in our package that's sent out by Michelle Public Works. Listing streets were and the lengths, number of civics that actually live on them. I'll talk here about Ice Pond Drive mainly. Just gonna jump down through these. So the first one I want to speak on, anybody's been here for, I guess since I've been here, they've heard me talk about Ice Pond Drive. Last year, we were also here, but we didn't get around to doing anything with it. So if you look at Ice Pond Drive, and I'm just throwing some figures here, and these are a little outdated, but I had Scott put these figures together from back in 2021. So Ice Pond Drive extended to Fir Avenue in 1996. It actually started, if you remember, looking back in the slide before that, in 1991. Street length 742 meters. In 2021, total assessed value is 8.6 million. Residential tax collected 115,000. Average assessment in 2021 was 260,000. Total cost to pave Ice Pond Drive in September of 24 is 363. I remember back in 2021, we could have done it for 186. Ice Pond Drive, paved by developer Benchmark, which is a Kenny Eisner group in 96, has never been repaved, only patched to date. In September 24, Ice Pond Drive's condition was identified and ranked by staff as one of the 5 worst in the municipality. Got a letter here that the mayor and myself and Dave Ritzie met with Chris Verge back earlier this year in May. And it was all about Ice Pond Drive, and he said he'll put a letter together, which he did, and he sent it on. It's in his file. Also sent it to Fred Tilley. Fred Tilley's the Minister of Transport. And myself, Dave Rickseed, MLA, Fred Tilley, Mark Peachy, and Paul LaFleche actually had a visit Ice Pond Drive here about a month and a half ago. They took a drive and they just couldn't believe the shape it was in. So here's the first video. May speed this up a bit. This is very at the bottom of the street. Drive up it. So what you're gonna notice here when you're driving up, especially a little further up, is that the street doesn't even meet standards. It's not wide enough. You'll notice that there's hardly any shoulders at all. It's a very busy residential street, and I'll tell you what it looks like from the top coming down once we do a bird's eye view from top of the subdivision. Street on the right is Deerview. That's our street. The municipality owns that. That's it. You'll notice it's a fairly high-end street in my district. I think every house on this, every resident on the street is paved driveway other than two. So they've been on me since the day I got elected to get their street paved. So here's where they did the addition in 96. They just did some work on this corner up here on the left-hand side. They had to fill it in, but here's where the street isn't nearly wide enough for two cars to meet. And again, no shoulders. So what this is from the top of the subdivision. You're gonna see some numbers here on the next slide when I pull it up. So this is at the very top of the street. Here would be Evergreen. The street here is Spruce, and as we go down over the hill, I will speed this up. You're gonna see how many houses are actually using this street. It's not only the Ice Pond Drive, I didn't even count Spruce in the numbers you're gonna see in the next slide, which is the street on the right, but on the left, most of these side streets and Evergreen Drive, the streets off it, in order to get to town, they're coming down the street. See when we get to the bottom here, speed it up for you a little bit. So here's Fur Avenue, right across here. They're gonna turn left and head towards Ice Pond Drive. Spruce runs to the right. So another thing I'm gonna show you here when we get here. So we're gonna turn the corner. Ice Pond Drive is a street right down here on the side. But what I want to show you is this. Ice Pond Drive has been cut out above, so this street's going to be built up by the Eisner Group here in the next few years. It's just been chipped out earlier this spring. But this area here above McLean Street and Martha Avenue, anybody's been reading what Town of Charles been doing, this is going to be fully developed up there. So Wood Street will be further over. This is McLean Street, and what they are gonna do is this is Fur Avenue. They're gonna continue it right up through. So I can tell you right now that a lot of these people that are gonna be in that new subdivision are gonna continue on down and travel down Ice Pond Drive. So that's, like I say, that's McLean Street like that. So this is, you can see that vehicle going down there. That's me. So that's how people come down from the top of the hill. And if you look down, that would be the East End Mini Mart at the bottom. That would be your view here. That's all you see there. So here's some numbers. So Ice Pond Drive's got 33 residences. Deerview's got 14. Fur's got 20. Evergreen's got 65. Aspen Court's got 5. Evergreen Court's got 5 residents. Monterey's got 7. Basswood's got 2. Olive Drive got 7. Olive Drive got 4. It's 162 residents. You want to do the math, 1.5 cars a vehicle, that's a lot. That's not even counting the Spruce Street side on the other side. So there's what you have in that area. 303 people actually old enough to go. Next one is Basswood Court. Basswood is off of Evergreen. We just flew down by Evergreen, and anybody in Basswood will travel Evergreen, turn left and go over to Ice Pond. We'll have a look at whatever their basket looks like here. Again, short cul-de-sac. Hardly any pavement on it at all. It's mostly gravel, but it was pavement at one point.
Did you bring any gravel for the slideshow?
Well, well, as you can see, that's in pretty bad shape. Next one, Spruce Court. Spruce Courts runs parallel to Evergreen off of Spruce. So we'll have a look at that. Again, short cul-de-sac. It's just been recently patched. Again, these people have been complaining for quite a while too. Once we get up in the air, I get a little higher shot of this street once I get up. So there's your patching, just put that last one. Just a general overview. Next one's a North River Highland View Court. It runs off Dixon. Again, a short cul-de-sac. I did the same thing here. On facing view, it's just a little further up the street, same side off Dixon Court. Again, short cul-de-sac. I'm sure we all have streets similar to this, but say I'm with Michelle on these six. I really thought that they were bad. Clover Drive, anybody knows where Clover Drive is? It's White Avenue. It's we only do it. I'll recommend 120 meters of it, but Armstrong Avenue, White Avenue, Victor Road would be over here, College Road's over here. I think the reason that Michelle just picked part of this, obviously, see the pavement starting up here, so we did part of the street some time ago. Yeah, that's it. So what I wanted to do is just give everybody an idea of what these roads look like around the county. I know some people travel around the county, some people don't, but that's a pretty good idea of what these look like here. So anyway, thank you for that. That's the reason why I put them in the order that I did.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson, and thanks for all the work you did to put that together. Appreciate that. Any other comments, questions about this item? Mayor Blair, please.
Thank you, Deputy. It's my understanding from point 3 on page 2 of the action item that might be a good idea to submit the cul-de-sacs at Basswood and Spruce together. And to also apply the same cul-de-sacs being together for Highland View and Basin View, which would make 4 submissions as opposed to 6. And I would suggest that would be a good idea, given the size of them and the length of them.
So you're suggesting that it perhaps be referred,
If,
We can amend the motion.
I'm sorry, I'll put an amendment on the floor. I move that the motion be amended to have Basswood Court and Spruce Court as one submission, and Highland View Court and Basin View Court as one submission. So the order would be Ice Pond Drive, Basswood and Spruce, Highland and Basin View, and Clover Drive. In that order.
okay, we have a seconded by Councillor Martell. Discussion on the motion, Councillor Cooper.
Yeah, and go through you to Michelle, please.
Mhm.
So Michelle, my question is, in the video there, we saw one street that had been repairs done on it. So that being the case, would you think the Provost would be, you know, if that was linked to something else, there might be less of a chance of that being done because they've already done repairs?
Through the chair, it's a possibility, but in my view, the patches did not offer any substantial improvement to the cul-de-sac, and so remaining of it is quite bad. So I can't speak for the province, but I think it's still sound to put it forward.
The reason I say that is because when they do that on my roads, and I bring it up, it's they both are patched. They do it some other time, because the roads are patched now, so. Once they patch it, then it's dismissed at that point in time, sort of thing, so. So I didn't know if they did that with these streets or not, or. Very, could be or might not be, it's hard to say.
Yes, I mean, through the chair, if the province decides to skip some on the list and move down in the priority, they can also do that as well. So they may look at the first and third and fourth, so that is a possibility as well.
The reason I brought that up is because we're lumping one of them together with another one, so. I would do that too, so.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the amended motion, Councillor Leggett?
Thank you, Madam Chair, through the public, Michelle. Do we have a strategy how we're gonna tackle the 110 kilometers of road? Because I would do all of these streets, and it doesn't add up to 1,200 meters. So if we look at the county's regular paving program, a 25-year life cycle on a paved road, you need to do 4.3 kilometers of J-class road a year to get into that kind of cycle. Does the province have a maximum ceiling on what they're willing to fund a year?
Through the chair, they do have a J-class road budget. Last I heard it was 10 million, but that was a couple of years ago, but maybe Dan can speak to the
Dan?
overall.
Thank you through the chair. I actually believe last year's budget for the province was $2 million. So, you didn't get anywhere near, that level of kilometers.
Okay, thank you very much. But even if we put all these streets in there as a package, it's better to shoot for the stars, I think, and be cut off as opposed to, like this year we did McCollum and Hillvale, which was only 400 meters, 380 meters. Let's try and get as much as we can. We have the reserves to do it. Let's capitalize best we can, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Debbie. So just to comment on Councillor Leggett's remark there. What Mark Peachy and Paula Flush said is that they actually put 10 million in the budget, but when it went to budget time, it got cut back and they ended up with 2. So I think last year when we submitted 4 or 5 roads, I believe, Michelle, they really come back and they slashed us too. And that's why they only did really the 1. And the reason they did McCollum was to get to Hillvale. If it wasn't for that, they would have got McCollum done. So I think last year when we were sitting around the table, we were expecting to get a couple roads or more, and that didn't happen. So I think we were all a little disappointed when they came up and we did it 1.
You, anything further? Ready for the question? So the amended motion is just,
You have to vote on the amendment first.
yeah, so the amended motion is to,
Just the amendment.
oh, the amendment, okay, we're voting on the amendment, oh, there it is. So Basswood and Spruce together as one submission and Highland View and Basin View together as one submission. So that's what we're voting on and we're going to try these little clickers. And do you want to give us the green light, Tracy, or you want me to say voting's open? You go ahead.
Voting is open.
Place your vote. Oh,
Voting closed.
Voting is closed.
all right, so we have almost unanimous. We have one no. The amendment has passed. Now we need to vote on the original motion,
The amended motion.
the amended motion now, sorry. And there it is. Direct staff to prepare cost estimates for repaving of Ice Pond, Basswood Court, Spruce Court, Highland View, Basin View, Clover Drive, and bring back to October council for consideration.
Sorry. Do this one maybe, because it's a two-part motion.
Okay. All right,
Sorry.
so your clickers down. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. So for Jason's information, this is a new system that we're trying tonight. So, yeah, we're getting used to it. So the motion has carried unanimously.
Now we're gonna get a little better.
Thank you, everybody. And move on to the next action item, which is sewer service boundary extension. And again, Michelle, can you take this one, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The item before you relates to a requested extension to the sewer service boundary in North River. In March of 2024, council did consider a request from a developer to extend the service boundary by 10 acres in the area of Basin Drive. Council did approve that extension at the time. The intent was to create 12 lots for R1 or R2 units. The developer has again submitted a request, which you will find attached in your package, for a further extension of the sewer service boundary in North River to create 14 lots, same idea, adjacent to the previously approved extension. And so staff are seeking guidance from council. Does council wish to refer this item to staff for further review?
Thank you, Michelle. Councillor Paving, you're prepared to put a motion on the floor?
I am. I'll put a motion on the floor that council committee refer the request for a sewer service boundary extension in North River to staff for review.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Martell. Any further questions, comments? Any further discussion? Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm just, maybe a ballpark timeframe. How long would this take to put this together, Michelle? Any idea? Once we refer it.
Through the chair, our intent is to bring it back at the end of the month.
Oh, thank you.
You ready for the question?
All for the question.
Questions called. Motion is on our screen. A request for sewer service boundary extension in North River to staff for review.
Voting is open.
Voting is open. Please vote now.
Oh, sorry.
System froze on her. Technology.
Voting is closed.
And it's a unanimous in favor of the motion. Thank you, everyone. Okay, our next item is operating costs, flow monitoring stations, Joint Flood Advisory Committee. Michelle, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The item before council relates to funding for a flow monitoring station. There are 3 river flow monitoring stations in the area. They were installed in 2016 through a project coordinated by the Joint Flood Advisory Committee. And this is a tool where we can continuously monitor flows in our rivers and use the data for things such as the flood mapping projects that have occurred since 2016. Traditionally, these 3 stations have been cost shared with Town of Truro, Millbrook, and the County of Colchester. And we will typically enter into a 3-year cost shared agreement with the province. They provide maintenance, data collection, and manage the stations on our behalf. And traditionally, there are 3 stations and each municipal unit would fund one of the stations. So the contract for the station management is up for renewal, a 3-year agreement. The commitment by County of Colchester would be $17,250 per year for 1 station, but for 3 years. And ideally, the Town of Truro and Millbrook will also agree to pay the same amounts into the program and fund their portion as well. The Joint Flood Advisory Committee did meet, reviewed this item and recommended to council that we continue to support the flow monitoring stations, but the Joint Flood Advisory Committee doesn't have spending authority, so any recommendations from that committee will come to council for a decision. So in this case, it's requesting funding from council in the amount of $17,250 per year for 3 years to fund the flow monitoring program.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Mayor Blair, please.
Thank you, Deputy. I am prepared to put a motion on the floor. I move that council committee recommends that council approve the funding of a river flow station at the cost of $17,250 per year for 3 years.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Cooper. Any further discussion on the motion?
Question.
It's been called, and there's the motion.
Voting is open.
So please vote now.
It's working. Try it again, Mike.
Flash an arrow, what's?
Reserve.
It worked.
Voting is closed.
Thank you, everybody. We have a unanimous in favor of the motion. All right. Number 8 is our Debert Source Water Protection Advisory Committee Terms of Reference. Michelle, you've been busy tonight. Over to you again.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The item before council this evening refers to updates to the terms of reference for source water protection committee. Both of our water utilities have source water protection committees. They are committees of council. And they stipulate the mandates of the committees to essentially provide input on developing source water protection plans, advice on protecting raw water quality and quantity, and really to discuss potential sources of contamination in the watershed area. The committee does have an existing terms of reference. The members on the committee include the mayor or deputy mayor, the area councillor, and citizen reps from residential, business, and First Nations community. The proposed changes are before you in the item with strikeout as deletions and read as additions. The changes are really housekeeping. We're not proposing to change the membership of the committee. Simply wanted to add some wording around assignment of the chair, terms for committee members, clarification on conflict of interest and options for virtual meetings. The Source Water Committee did meet in September, reviewed the terms of reference. They are in support of the changes and recommended that the changes be adopted. Because this is a committee of council, any changes need to be at council.
Thank you very much. Councillor Benoit.
Thank you. I will make a motion that council committee recommends to council that the proposed changes to the Debert Source Water Protection Committee terms of references be accepted as presented.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Any further discussion on the motion? Question has been called. Recommendation to council. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
so you've heard the motion. There it is.
Voting is open.
Please vote now.
It's closed.
Tracy, motion carries unanimously. The next item, 8B, is an item related to insurance, the RECC, and Councillor Leggett, you like to address this, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Out of the meeting, joint meeting the other night, outside all the other conversation that went on, the insurance component troubles me, I guess, from what was mentioned at the meeting. It's probably our biggest insured asset in the county dollar wise, and the insurance is being held by a volunteer board. But although, like, as Mike Volter pointed out, the criteria is stipulated as to what they have to have. It was readily acknowledged that they were woefully underinsured. But being the owner, Colchester County and the town, I think we would want to hold the primary policy on that building for fire, theft, flood, earthquake, whatever. Obviously, the director's liability insurance for the volunteer board is required by the board. But if something were to happen to that facility and the board is volunteer, they could bail, holding the insurance policy and not having a group to defend or utilize that policy or bring it to fruition for repairs. So I think, or I would ask that we study and move towards having the county encompass the insurance for that building as they do for the fire service in Colchester County for our vehicles and buildings. So anyways, that's my thoughts. Thank you very much.
So are you suggesting that this be referred to staff? Would you like to make a motion to that effect?
I would so, thank you very much. I'd like to make a motion that staff investigate and come back to council with insurance alternative, I guess, to the present foreign strategy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Okay. Any further discussion on the motion? Do you, Tracy's getting it put together? So motion is that we refer this to staff to investigate the current form of insurance at the RECC.
Voting is open.
Please vote now.
Closed.
Carries unanimously. Thank you, Councillor Leggett. So those are our action items, and we're moving on to our information items. First one being the Community Park Funding Program, Fall 2025 application. This is for information. Are there any questions about this particular request and grant? We're all good? Okay. Moving along to the Central Nova Scotia Tourism Development Society and the response to the major event requests. And it's a letter that was sent to the CEO of the Central Nova Scotia Civic Center Society, their request. The comments, questions? That is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, moving right along. We've got our director's report. Oh, sorry, Councillor Martell.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion and then hopefully if someone seconds it, we can have some commentary on that.
Is this related to the?
To, yeah, the previous item.
Okay,
So I would like to make a motion to work with the rec board and staff that funds up to $20,000 be made available to provide opportunities for youth within our community to attend the Under 17 World Challenge Hockey Tournament being held in Truro in early November at the rec.
okay, I'm just giving Tracy time to jot that down. We have a seconder for that motion? Seconded by Councillor Richardson.
May I speak to the
May
motion?
speak to it.
So I understand the dynamics of having a funding application come before us and that we need to have a budget and we need to understand what those funds are being used for. In this case, with the original request that came in for both the Stampede and the Under 17 World Championship, we were not in a position to consider that where it didn't follow our own policies of understanding where the funds would be used. In this case, my motion speaks to a willingness of this council to support youth and having an opportunity to attend a first-class sporting event that's held within our community that without an opportunity to provide such a benefit to our youth that many would not be able to attend. So I felt in lieu of them coming to us with a proposal on the finances that we could, as a council, decide that it would be appropriate to provide opportunities for our youth through our channels. And if we offer this to the rec and they turn it down, then that would be on them. But we could, as council, decide to provide opportunities for young people in our community who may not otherwise be able to attend.
Thank you, Councillor Martell. Mayor Blair, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I know that our council has been very supportive of events for youth over the years through the grant program that we have. I understand as well that we do have an agreement that has to be followed. And that's something that I think we need to explore before we make a decision on your recommendation or the motion. I believe that this is something that should go to staff for further investigation and discussion with our municipal partner. The other part of this would be, are there any organizations out there that are trying to get funds to allow young people to attend these games? Like Big Brothers Big Sisters or United Way, or there are other organizations that may be trying to do the same thing. So I think that we need to explore and find out whether there are other organizations that want to do this before we make a decision to put funds in place before any discussion has taken place with the board at the Rathieson Community Center.
Thank you, Mayor Blair. Councillor Johnson.
Thank you. I'm just thinking back here, myself, John McLean, and Richard Kroll were in charge in 2006 of San River Hockey, but we won that year. We had 1,650 tickets. We were in charge of the 1,650 tickets. And the first thing we did was offer them to school kids. But what we quickly found out is that we had to send an adult with the individual. So what happened all of a sudden, rather than, fill the kids with their regular kids, we give the tickets to the parents and the kids, and we found out some of them were selling them off. passing them off and we weren't getting exactly what we wanted to do. I don't know how we'd ever work this here, but so you just can't drop a youth off at the rec and set them in the door and let them run wild, especially a 6 or 7 under 6 or 7 child, but if staff wants to work that out, that's fine. So, you know, what I'm thinking about here, if you're gonna do 20,000 ticket or $20,000 in tickets, I don't know what that results to, how much a ticket is, but let's say it's 8,000 tickets over the course of it. I would say probably almost half of those would have to go on adult to supervise the youth that are going there if you're gonna classify youth as falling under. So let's see. Whatever, is it 1,400? I don't know. But I mean, you know, that facility, obviously, the youth would have to be dropped off, so that's the only kicker that I see. Staff will take that into consideration if it goes to that.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion?
Can we hear the motion again?
Are you okay, Tracy, with
Just
the wording?
We're gonna have the opportunity to amend it, that we would refer the request to staff to work with partners to see if it's a possibility at this date.
Did you do that, Dennis?
As long as she has, as long as her seconder agrees.
Seconder, okay with that? Yep. So it's amended to refer to staff to, and. Okay. I'm just waiting on that. So it's refer to staff to work with the rec board of directors, staff for the amount, for an amount of up to 20,000 for youth to attend the U17 event.
Rec board.
I thought we were just referring to staff.
Can we go
Not nothing to do with the rec, just referring to staff. Okay.
Go ahead, Dan.
Sure, through the chair. So, if I understand the gist of the debate, is it's being referred to staff to explore up to $20,000 working with the board. But also, it sounds like also any other potential agencies that could be involved in supporting this. So really, you're looking for a note back from staff that would give some direction as to how this 20,000 could potentially work.
Not to do it right now.
Right, it's gotta come back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's an exploration, an investigation by our staff.
Yeah, this is only council committee, so you don't have
Yeah,
the
that's
authority
right.
to approve it anyway.
Yeah. Question called?
Not ready.
Question's been called.
Voting is now open.
Voting is open. Please vote now.
Voting is closed.
Unanimous. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Martel. Next information item is our director's report. Director of Corporate Services. Thank you, Scott. Chance to look at it. Are there any questions of Scott or any comments to make? Thank you for the very detailed report, Scott. See any questions for Scott? So we'll move right along. It's our closed session in camera. I would ask for a motion to go in camera, moved by Councillor Benoit, seconded by Councillor Patton. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded nay. Motion's carried. Let's take 10 minutes. Back